I wanted to put this Rinaldi through some actual, I don't want to say real world, that feels a little bit too self-important, but practical tests for these tomahawks. I see a lot of videos where, you know, and I totally get it. If you don't have land, you don't have trees. Or if you have trees, you don't have as many as you'd want if you wanted to, you know, just willy-nilly go out into the forest and test an edge tool. So I certainly don't have those trees, but what I do have is various projects around the Ponderosa that I can use this for. And I tell you what, I was wondering how this kind of, it's just off plumb, sloped a bit out, how this pole was gonna do. There's a hawk somewhere. And it was extremely comfortable for hammering, just extremely comfortable. It gives you a little bit of an advantage when you pound, because your swing is coming this way, and when you swing in an arc, the slope of the pole keeps you flat. It's awesome. It's also really nice to be able to, you know, what I think I'm gonna do for the next one is to try scribing my line just with this tomahawk. Right now I'm using my case knife, which it works great. It's what I've always done, but I gotta get it out. I gotta scribe, I gotta close it. I don't like leaving it open because it is wicked sharp. And I've never cut myself using it, but I mean, just about every cut I've ever had has been an open blade lying around somewhere. It falls, you brush against it, you know, whatever the case may be. So I don't like leaving it open. This though, I think could be handy enough to scribe. So it's an excellent weight. The thing about the handle, it has a couple different built-in grip positions. You can choke down for a lot of leverage, or you can choke up for more precision. And I like this middle grip here. This middle grip is the perfect balance between leverage and control. And the weight of this ash handle is noticeable. It is excellent. It's half the weight of a hickory handle, and that changes all the balance of the tool. It is just excellent. It's wonderful to use. So I tell you what, for, you know, building a couple sawhorses, fantastic. 2 tools from the equation. Give it a shot here. Let's see if you can see that. There you go. I'm gonna leave a little bit proud. That cut is perfectly suitable for framing, or honestly, this one's square enough even for furniture. So. at it. Okay, so we're gonna give this a shot here. This is some red oak that I gotta move. You can see my big tarp back there. I'm having to clear out my woodshed. And so I got just a lot of stuff to move. This slab, this would never make a decent slab that somebody would pay good money for, although it is just under 2 inch. So I'm gonna turn it into lumber, turn it into dimensional stock. First part of that is going to be cutting a straight line. So there's the cut. Not that this is some great straight edge. Little gap here. And I knew there was, because you could see me kind of checking to see if I was going to cut into my sawhorse and if I was straight. So that makes sense. But it's no bigger than, I'd say that's maybe a 32nd. Here it's dang near joinery. So from here, I can either take it to my table saw, and I can rip down 6 inch, probably is what I'll do. I'll do 6 inch here, boards. Well, I can't quite get to 6 inch. Most I can get is 2 5 inch. Well, actually, but that knot, I don't like that knot anyways. So let's see, if I cut that out, I would get 3 6. What was that? 72, 80. Okay, all right. I mean, this is well over 7 foot. I'm just wondering if I want to cut this knot out or not. You know, if I do that, if I cut that knot out, I can get 2 5 inch boards. 2 5, and I can actually go 5 1/8. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go 5 1/8, 10 1/4. 5 1/8, 10 1/4. Okay, I forgot I was out of frame there. What I'm gonna do here is clamp this over. bar clamp wiggle. Well, I wouldn't say it's perfect technique, but it worked. All right, well, I really don't like to do this freehand, but my table saw is occupied right now. The biggest problem that I have, and I cut these an 1/8 inch big, so it's not really a problem, but the biggest problem I have is the slabs come straight off the chainsaw mill, and so there's a little bit of variation, and then they dry, and so there might be some cupping, and what that means is my circular saw might be a little tilted. It might be a little off plumb. So that's something that we can deal with when we take these down to final dimensions. These are nice. I'm kind of tempted to throw them through a planer, but we'll see. These came out really nice. I'm very happy with them. I'm also pretty happy with these Sawhorses. Now, I think I'm going to cut them down maybe 4 or so inches. I thought I might like the extra height because I do find myself ripping straight edges on long boards a lot, and it's just easier for me not to have to you know, kind of bend over and, you know, kind of walk hunched. I could be more upright, but the thing is I hadn't really considered how close my face would be to the skill saw. I've had, you know, like I mentioned, the boards aren't always flat, so that tilts your blade. I've had some gnarly kickback a couple of times, and I've just been barely able to get it under control with one arm. And I didn't love how close my face was to that skill saw. That'd be a heck of a goose egg. But I left a space here, not only for clamps, but for carrying. You know, that was an issue that I've had with a lot of these Sawhorses. There's really no good place to grab them. Sawhorses are in action. I really liked that space for clamping in the middle there. For wider pieces, I could clamp it over and then have it hang off the Sawhorse to get a good edge. And this is what I've been doing. This is all red oak that I edged yesterday. I've got a bunch of it left to edge. That big tarp back there is my former woodshed pile. My woodshed needs to come down, and so I had to move everything out of it. And so to save myself some space and time, I'm turning a lot of my slabs into dimensional lumber. That's why I'm going to need probably a couple more sets of these shave horses. It worked great. I turned a couple of the slabs into chair bottoms. This one's got a knot in it, which I think should be okay, but that's actually the only one with a knot in it. A really nice, continuous red oak chair bottom stock. That is, that's an inch and a quarter. No, that's actually inch and probably 3/8 is what that is. These are really nice. Actually, I lied. This one has knots in it too. Two of them have knots. And I think this one is clear. There we go. So these are going to be nice. I'll take the bark off. I cut these in the winter, so the bark is actually glued on. And then just to prove it, there we go. Nice clear on that one too. This is what I've really been needing, is a place to edge that's nice and tall, my lumber. And then I cut these into 5 1/8, I believe. 5 1/8, same thickness. Look at that grain pattern. This is going to be really nice vertical grain lumber. And I've got, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is the pith. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. So I've got 6. Those are 8 foot, 6 8-foot, 8-foot boards there. Really nice red oak. So we'll see what these become. I want to make at least one Welsh stick chair out of those, and so I've got 4 to pick from. I'll probably take the knotty one here, this big knot here. I think I use all the crappy ones for myself and my projects. I don't know if anybody else out there does that, but here's the Sawhorses. They're working great, working really, really well, and they'll be used for many weeks to come.